Hello, guys. Welcome to the officially Braless podcast. I'm your host, Babs, and I'm very excited to indulge in this topic because it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic, and I'm laughing because it's really weird how I got the idea to talk about it. But let's move right into it. But before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to my friend and colleague, uh, Chris, for helping me with a mic. So if you realize that the sound is different and better, it's thanks to Chris. Chris, thank you. And also, how are you guys? How has your week been? For those that had a tough week, I'm glad you've reached the end of it. You did well. We'll try again next week. And for those that had a marvelous week, good for you. Keep slaying, and we'll do better next week. Way to go. So, where to start? I think I'm going to give you a bit of a background about my perception of myself in regards to the title, which is To the Girls with No Nyash, and then we'll build on from there. For those that don't know what Nyash means, I had to look it up on Google. It's a slang, a vulgar slang that originates from West Africa, I think specifically Nigeria, that means a girl with a whale shaped behind, a whale-shaped butt. For reference, you should use that. Yeah, so to the girls with no nyash, this is for you specifically, including myself. Because according to society, I have no nyash. Where to begin? Where to begin? I don't even know where to begin. But it was never really something that I focused on when I was younger, that I would say from the age of 12 going downwards. I did not care at all because I was a child. I was never really exposed to, and in the 2000s, that wasn't really the focus. I think at that point in time, the in thing was skinny girls, the Christina Aguilera's, the Britney Spears and all that. It was never really focused on a big behind. If you were skinny, then you were the it girl. So when I was growing up, I never really thought of that until I joined high school. That was Form 1. I think East Africans will understand when I say Form 1. That's like a grade 8 for international students. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. That's like freshman year. Is that right? Freshman year for the students overseas. I don't know. But I was in Form 1. Form 1, I was 13 years old. I just made 13 the previous year. And so I joined Form 1 when I was 13. And I realized that I was different from the girls in my class. They had big butts and I had a smaller butt. But still then I never really focused on that. I was like, okay, I'm different. I'm smaller. And I guess we move on. But then it started to get to me when one time I was in my holidays and I passed by a group of boda men, and one of them shouted Akabina Kawachi. It was cold. It was very cold. He shouted, Akabina Kawachi, Wawachi. Jangu Kuyambe. Okay, for those that don't understand Luganda, the guy was basically saying, what happened to your butt? What happened to you? What's wrong with you? Come and I help you, you know? It was very disrespectful. You guys know the border guys here in Uganda. I'm not saying all of them, but some are very disrespectful to the girl child. They say all sorts of comments, they do all sorts of things, and that's not cool. But anyway, the guy shouted like that, and I was so embarrassed. And that's when I started to take my self image very. I started critiquing myself. I started looking at myself in a different kind of way. And suddenly, different became deformed. I thought I was deformed. I thought maybe my parents did not feed me enough, and this is why I ended up like this. Flat. I was very unkind to myself when I was younger. It gets me emotional when I think about it because the things I used to tell myself, guys, I was my own bully, I was my own enemy. I used to call myself ugly every single day. I hated looking in the mirror. I feared walking in front of class because in my mind, the boys, the backbenchers, they were probably saying all sorts of things. And it really, really, really affected me so badly. So badly. Imagine 6 years from Form 1, Form 6, and you're constantly putting yourself down. It was so bad. So when I joined university, my confidence started to come back up. I used to wear, of course, when you're in university, you understand. I wasn't indecent, but then I was also exploring different kinds of styles. But it's still stuck in my mind. You know, something that's imprinted at the back of your mind. And even then, when you wear a nice dress or whatever, you still know at the back of your mind that I know my body is ugly, but whatever. And it was crazy because it affected. I think it affected also my relationships. But that will be a story for another time. It affected me in so many ways. Guys, when you have children, or those that already have children, it's not my place to tell you how to raise your kids. But a word of very unsolicited advice. Please, please, please remind them every day of how beautiful they are. Give them reassurance. Talk to them, become their best friends. Get to understand what they're thinking. Because the battles, the silent battles that teenagers go through, it's crazy. It's crazy. And at that point, for a teenager, it's gospel truth. You can't tell them otherwise. So for a teenager that's in their room thinking all these things, to her or to him, it's great gospel truth. He is completely convinced that I'm ugly and that's it. So try to talk to them, get to know them, because it's in those moments where they'll actually open up and be like, mom or dad, or mom and dad, this and this and this, I feel ugly, or you know, or something like that. Or if you're an elder child and you have a younger sibling and then high school, and like, just try to create a relationship with your younger siblings and ask them how they are, how's your, try to figure out which kind of headspace they're in, create that relationship. And yeah, because as teenagers, why am I saying as teenagers? Like as if I'm a teenager. No, I'm not a teenager. I'm turning 28 this year, next month. Wow. God is good. God is very good. Anyway. So my perception of myself was down in the dumps, rock bottom. When I joined university, it started to climb up a bit, and but it was always ingrained at the back of my mind that no matter what I do, I'm deformed. And I was entering the headspace of this is just something that I have to accept. And yeah. So recently I was talking to a friend about it, and he said, I can help you. I can connect you to somebody, a trainer who can help you with that kind of thing. And then I was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. And it's like, why? And I'm like, I wouldn't be doing it for the right reasons. So lately, for like the past 5 years, I've been trying to understand exactly what it is, why I perceive myself like this. And of course, it all goes back to the African society, not only the African society, but worldwide. A girl with a bigger butt is the one with the most desirable body type, wall shaped and figure eight and whatnot. So I told myself, Barbara, look at that fact. Society is telling you that that's the most desirable body type, but what right do they have to tell you otherwise? That hey, what you are is not okay. It's not the right thing. So think about it. And so I started having a mind shift. A mindset shift. Sorry, English is my second language, but we move. I started having a mindset shift. And then I slowly started to realize that, okay, so I'm only feeling this way because of society. I'm only feeling this way about my body because society is shoving it down my throat that the type of body I have is the bad kind. And once I got to understand that, I became a bit kinder to myself, in the sense that it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's just society, and I guess that's okay. So I was in the acceptance. I was accepting. I was like, oh well, I'm in a fallen world and society wants that, and I'm not going to conform to societal demands. And so I'm just going to accept and be who I am. But then I had to go through another shift. So when I went through that shift, things got a bit better. And then I went through another shift. I'm like, wait a minute. Acceptance? What does acceptance mean? What exactly does acceptance mean? So I looked it up on Google, and it said it's acknowledging the unvanished facts of ourselves and our situation It's being content. Like, okay, this is what I have. I can't change it. This is me. I'm going to accept that and move on with life and be happy with what I have. Hey, at least I have a butt. There are people who can't sit. Okay, at least I have a butt. And I'm like, that's not the kind of acceptance I want. Hold on. Okay, let's go back. And then I thought about it again and I was like, because you know why? Because there was nothing wrong with me to begin with. I'm not deformed. Okay? My smaller butt is just smaller and that's it. It's a butt and it's smaller. There's nothing wrong. So, what are you accepting? You're not deformed. What are you accepting? What are you going to be content about when there was nothing wrong with you to begin with? And so I had another shift. And so right now, I'm being honest, right now I'm in between there's nothing wrong with me and I need to fix this. I'm in between those two things. And I guess as I'm growing older, I'm tending towards there's nothing wrong with me. So when my friend asked me, there's a trainer that I know who can help you out with that kind of thing, I was like, no, I'm good. When people ask me, I keep telling people that, oh, I want to work out. And they're like, that's good, that's good. What are your goals? And I'm like, I just want to be fit and healthy. And they're like, really? You don't have any body goals? Like, you don't work on your glutes or whatever? I'm like, no. I do want to, by the way. I want to work on those glutes. I want them to be popping like crazy. But I don't think I'm there yet. I'm not in that headspace of, okay, I'm going to do this for myself because I just prefer it. It's a personal preference. I just want to enhance, but I'm okay either way. I'm not yet there. If I were to do it now, I'd be like, okay, I'd get these glutes up. I'd get these glutes up because I need to fix myself when there's nothing to fix because there's nothing wrong with me. So I think that's the message. There's nothing wrong with you, girl. There's nothing wrong with you. So for whatever thing you decide to do with your body and you're having the same struggles, you want to go to the gym or you want to, some people go as far as having plastic surgery done on them to get, bigger butts like the BBLs and whatnot. First ask yourself, why are you going to do this? What's your relationship with your body image? Are you doing it to get validation from society, or are you doing it because you feel like you can't stand yourself, you need this change to love yourself? I think those two reasons they're not okay, they're not healthy for your mind. So before you make any decision to change your body or whatever, I think you first need to go back, open those drawers, yeah, with yourself, have a conversation with yourself and work on that first before you make any decision. So for me, I think I'm still in that headspace of understanding that there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have to. I'm not fixing anything. I don't have to fix anything. The moment I decide that, okay, I'm going to go and do these exercises to work on my butt, it's because I just want to do it just course, but I'm not fixing myself. And that's the point I first want to get to before I do anything. Because if I'm to get onto that journey right now, I'm going to be very unkind to myself. Because it's a whole other journey of its own. Sure, there'll be results, but I'll be too hard on myself. I'll be very unkind. And if I don't see results, what's going to happen then? If the results are not what I expected, am I going to go higher? What? Save up to go under the knife? You get, like, it's, what am I chasing? What's this thing that I'm chasing? Whose validation am I chasing? You get? So I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. So I am learning to love my body, and I have different ways that I've been doing that, and I think it's really working. It's really working. First and foremost, I love to refer to the Bible, the things that God says about us. I'm not good with verses at all, but I know for a fact that God says that we're beautiful, we're made in His image. So I try to keep that at the back of my mind that, hey, I'm beautiful because God says that I'm beautiful. He made me, so I'm beautiful, okay? And there's nothing wrong with me. And then, when it comes to style and fashion, I try to wear things that flatter my body type. This is not expert advice. Again, I keep giving this disclaimer because this is all just from experience. I'm not an expert. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my voice. I've been talking for too long. Sorry, I had to pause to clear my throat. Where was I? Yes. I wear things that flatter my body. It's not expert advice, but you can try it out. If you're a short girl like me, I'm 4'11". I have a smaller butt. I have kind of a big bust. But I've realized that when I wear short dresses, not short indecent, but short dresses that are just above my knees, I realize that I'm not really tight, but they're a bit flowy. I've realized that I look good in such things, so I take advantage of rompers. Are they called rompers? Yeah, they're like what are they called? Jumpsuits, but the short ones. I like rompers. I really look good in rompers. Very nice. And then anything high-waisted skirt, high-waisted jeans, high-waisted, even though like high-waisted office pants. They look so good on my body. I like them. What else? Sundresses really look good on my body. Yeah, so you keep on exploring styles and see what works for your body, and when you wear something nice, you feel good about yourself. They really help with the confidence, my girls. So focus on what God says about you. Work on your style, and then work on loving yourself. Take out the dot, have conversations with yourself. Approach it from an angle of kindness and understanding that there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing to fix. You're beautiful, and fall in love with yourself because you're your friend. You're literally your friend. I'm starting to think of myself as a whole other human being because I spend 24 hours, 7 days a week with myself. So I'm with this whole other person called Barbara, and I have to be kind to her. Imagine if you're with a friend who was constantly bringing you down, mean to you, rude to you. You'd obviously want to just cut things off and never want to speak to that person again. But imagine being that to yourself every single time. That's not healthy. So become your friend again. Get to know yourself again. And I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm getting to know myself again. What do I like? Who am I? And I've, in the journey of getting to know myself, I've got to realize that I have been trying to put myself in a box this whole time. I've been trying to label myself as somebody, but I am a person of diversity. There's just so many things about me that I'm learning, and I'm like, wow, Barbara, who knew you liked anime? Who knew you liked graphic design? Who knew you liked horrors? Who knew you liked who knew you liked these so many things? Who knew you were an extrovert at some point and an introvert at some point, and like you're an ambivert or whatever? Who knew you liked this food? Who knew you liked mushrooms so much? You know? Who knew you liked Posho? I know this is going to make somebody laugh, but there's so many things about me, so many things, and I think that's okay. That's okay. So, for the girls that want to go and get those glutes up, go ahead, go to the gym and whatever, do your thing, get those glutes going. It's okay, go ahead, but please, 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 when you decide to do that, please go in with a clean mind, be kind to yourself. So, the key word or keywords or key phrases or key phrase for this episode is I'm thinking. Okay, I have a phrase. It's a phrase. The key phrase for this episode is and that's okay. Ooh, that's a nice one. And that's okay. So what I want you guys to do is to write down whatever your insecurity is. Write it down and then end with and that's okay. I can give an example. I'm a short man and that's okay. I'm a very tall girl and that's okay. I have a smaller butt and that's okay. I have a big nose and that's okay. Again, all these things I'm mentioning, there is nothing wrong with them. I'm just mentioning things that are not desirable in, when it comes to societal standards. But not that there's anything wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with having a big nose. There's nothing wrong with having a smaller butt. There's nothing wrong with being a short king. Okay? So write down your insecurity and add, and that's okay. I'm a lean man. I'm not buff, and that's okay. I don't have a big bust, and that's okay. And so on and so forth. Before I go, I think I've already gotten a title for the next episode, and that's actually I want to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about this for the longest time. Is toxic positivity. That's my next topic for the next episode. Next Friday, I'm going to talk about toxic positivity. I feel like it's a very sensitive topic, because we've all been culprits of it, where we have shoved down positivity in people's throats, people that just want to have a shoulder to cry on, people that just want to be listened to. But then we want to be the problem solvers and we just let out words like, you'll be fine, all is well, you should be grateful because there are people out there in the world that have it much worse than you. Such things I think I need to... talk about. So get ready for next Friday, and yeah, have a lovely week ahead. Have a lovely weekend. Drive safely. Don't drink and drive. Go visit your families. Go visit your friends. Go to church. Be good people. Spread love. Spread light. Okay, now I'm just mumbling. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the support that I'm receiving. And I will see you next Friday. Toodaloo!